good signs for a team.
Well, here we go. Debut of the new Falcons roster versus a Saw that actually surprised and impressed in Stockholm. We're going to see if they can keep it up here on LAN in Melbourne. A late invitation here to Intel Extreme Masters. Saw on the T side of Nuke sending it.
Straight out into the top site here. Nico, full blind. Monacy's made quick work of this A play. They managed to get the bomb down through the vents. Nico's heard this. And so rotate should be taking shape for the Falcons. Tesses knows he has the other two trapped in right here at ramp, and so divide and conquer for the Falcons. They keep Saw apart. And their strength is together. 5 alive at the end of this for the Falcons, with 2 from Monacy to open in his first round in the Falcons jersey.
Hashtag worth.
Yeah.
Plus 600k. Plus 2.5 mil.
What was the buyout?
I don't know, you tell me.
2.5?
I mean,
Couple mil.
rumors.
So right now it's 1.25 mil per kill.
Those kills about to get cheap, I guess, pretty quick.
That would be a nice calculation at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, to see how
that's actually
how many is he going to rack up.
Start tracking it right now.
Just divide the prize winnings, I think.
Interesting to see Saw not go for a force buy despite the plant.
But they do get a scout. Story going to get given anything. It doesn't look like it, unless Nico comes up secret. Might poke his head out here. Story's just dropped off. Man down the vent. They know about it, but Nico unbothered. Just able to clean up outside. Ooh, P250 instead. Glock on B. Hello.
Don't know why this is feeling so stressful, but it is.
No armor, no nades.
Still get weird. Story certainly had a chance there, but departs the angle right as Monacy crept on in. Second chance at him. I know he's out here somewhere. They've dispatched Mutiras to try and find him.
This isn't going anywhere fast. That bomb is on Silo right now. 20 seconds. Ooh.
There it is.
Easy.
Already down a $500,000 per kill. He's getting cheaper by the second in a way.
I think this is such a brutal game to draw as your first of the event for Saw, right? Knowing how tricky those lower bracket runs are in this format. Going against, well, not just Monacy, but Nico as well, reunited in a team that just came off of a trophy. The stakes do not get more difficult for Saw.
And I was curious to see what they have planned for the first gun round, seeing how they didn't force even with the plant. But the Falcons with the aggressive play on ramp sort of put a spanner in the works, and seems like after the smoke they're still just going to go ramp. Nico has good nades.
I mean, they even hastily constructed the boost just to take it one step further. This ramp room turns into a killing field. And Monacy's the one still left standing. Mutiras has grabbed the bomb, but now is to embark on a 1v3, and he doesn't have lobby either. Slowly but surely he's getting pincered. And they're both on him now on this backstab. Monacy still on a flawless game. Let's go! As he eludes capture, Kicksan chases down the final kill, and that rifle round is kicked aside with no issues from the Falcons. And just a lot of nice, you know, proactive moves in that first rifle round from them, right? They came through with this little aggressive move, as you said, Yanko, and then even throwing like a low HP Tesses up onto the boost. just getting one more kill of value out of him before he's done in the round.
And they were so ready. 3-4 in ramp, right? Tesses, m0NESY, and Nico at Hell.
I think it was unfortunate for Saw that no one was yard, right? Like, they just wanted to throw outside smokes, keep, let's say, Nico and m0NESY focused on that, breaking the smokes while they popped ramp, but they lose the opening guy, and then, well, Nico is ramp as well from the get-go, and m0NESY was just hanging around Heaven, helping A at the beginning of the round, so he's quick on the rotate, and they get all the trades, all the information, all the frags. So not the best of starts for Saw. Couple of, well, one Mac-10, some Tech-9, some nades. Is this going to be some sort of a rush or an A-pop? Let's see.
If it is that A-rush, Falcons are ready for it. 4 strong in the top side to open. Fast rotate for m0NESY. Gonna have to link up with Tesses in at the ramp room.
Oh no.
Not here in time, so Tesses got to drop on down. Getting hounded, getting chased. No time to get a fresh mag in. Hacker will find him. Nico already here, but takes one of the domes straight away. Doesn't even feel like a fair fight for Nico there. Oh, living on borrowed time.
He pulled nades.
Oh, Azuu, that's awkward.
It's a very weird
very
part.
vulnerable position when they don't have control over that decon door. Earlier damage on a Nico might never get capitalized on either. 3 kills deep in the round.
That really feels like a round of what could have been. Agile pulling nades, Azuu planting for Nico. Very strange. And that was after they were gifted the entry onto Tesses, who's jumping in the open down ramp. Materis, though, on the B side of New Carry. Seen this one before, but not to be. Nico with 4 kills, despite being dinked before he saw a single player.
Just like Brolin dreamed of being an IGL, Azuu always dreamed of setting up Nico. And in a way, he did. 4-0 right now for the Falcons.
Yeah, felt like the smoke was going to protect him, but the sound cue was just too easy for Nico to find them in that smoke. This is always like, this is like the coaches, you know, Tesses doesn't have to hide. If he knows what the buy is going to be, he can just fall back immediately and play for time, use his utility to block them a little bit more. Granted, he did use the molly and the smoke, but could have gotten dicey. Luckily for Falcons, it didn't. So now Story has the AWP.
Full smokes, but gotta wait. There's always a break. Nade comes in for Nico. Saw cross after it. Materis makes it down. Still 3 in the lobby. This might be a fake back to upper. Falcons not very concerned about this B-bomb side. Just leave kicks in there for info. I say that. Nico's drop vent. Bombs coming back outside late in the round. So Materis can't die. They're in a world of trouble. Nico trying to make that happen. Does do it easily. Oh, with the shadow as well. He had every chance.
I don't really, other than Kickstand walking forward yelling, "I'm here, I'm coming!" There wasn't much more.
No, what?
The Story could have had going his way there.
Unfortunate for Saw that, you know, Story can't get that kill. Maybe the round gets a little bit interesting. But the problem is, you know, the way the first gun round goes for Saw, it's kind of easy for Falcons to know they'll try to do something outside. That's why Kicksan was down already. That's why Nico goes down as well on timing, you know, and they were going to re-push together. And once they can't find the kills, so, I mean, the round falls apart completely, but that's the problem when you have to play from behind. Your playbook is a little bit more limited.
You see him trying to cross again out in the yard. They will manage to get past on Materis. m0NESY also bringing out his first AWP of the game. Let's see how that Falcons m0NESY AWP be hitting.
Solo ramp while Tessus reclears from B.
One for free for Tesses, and he just looks to put a bit of distance between himself and these pistols. Will get run through regardless. Nico now arrives down at lower. He's got Monacy nearby to lend a helping hand. Nico, looking real clean with it in this game.
He's on fire.
You were excited about the Nico-Monacy duo linking back up, but Nico is throwing down the gauntlet. He wants to be the guy we're talking about here. 11-2, Monacy with his first death. Story just wasn't ready for a third player in at the ramp.
Can't blame him for that one, really. 2 kills on ramp, insta-plant. Trying to take his timing, but dude, yeah. Nico, rather, looking unbelievably sharp. Was playing great. You know, just to lift the trophy in Romania, but this is something else. Has not missed a shot.
Yeah, and already a second timeout for Saw. The first one was a little bit surprising because it was after the first gun round and sort of you pre-plan those rounds, right? Like when you talk about the game, you say, okay, if you're down 0-3, this is what we're doing in the first gun round. If you're up 3-0, 2-0, whatever the economy situations are, you have those rounds set. So using a timeout that early was a little bit surprising. Now they have to do another one. And again, this is where it gets a little bit tough. You tried this sort of a surprise play on ramp, didn't work out. They disrupted you with an aggressive push. Then you tried to play more defaulty, go yard, go down secret. That also didn't work out. So it does feel like you need to win a round by playing a little bit more default before you can change the pace.
Monacy taking that shot. That might have been a double. They lined up for him in the door, but Monacy spammed out. They don't know about Magisk up here on the rafters. He's in a good position to try and steal that all the way, but it's teeing them up for Nico to make his move. It's considered, it's thought about, and Mutiras will deal with him. Finally Saw get on the board.
Or you just call a set play and see how it goes. But a couple of really good entries in this one, and Falcons were more focused on outside opening. I think it was only Magisk on A at the start of the round. But it's all about winning the consecutive ones. You can see the money has dried up pretty much for Falcons. Those were some costly anti-ecos. So if Saw can win this one, they're right back in it.
Honestly, staying mobile. It's Nico on lower. Tesses just covers the ramp. Seeing a lot of ramp control. Oh, Story picks Tesses. This could be a round for Monacy if they keep going on this pathing, wrapping round the world. Cancelling the Heaven reboost. Monacy knows that there is a timing for them to get to hell. He's got to be cautious, agile, stops that lobby push. There's one more where that came from. Magisk does hold the line. Monacy's pushed in as well. Oh dear, close player is the one he's got to worry about. He sees both, misses the shot. 2 entries at the same time. Falcons crunch lobby, they're both denied. And Nico had a great game, but 12-4, stuck down this B site. So I'm going to avoid him entirely.
And that's the benefit of having the op on the T side, right? If you're going up against rifles. Oh, nice. No.
Oh my god, he saved it.
Yeah. You know, you have the advantage with all those fights, and I don't know if Monacy maybe thought they were going to switch it up, and that's why he went ramp. But yeah, that definitely hurt Falcons outside. Tesses gets picked off. They know they lost all the yard control. Nico can't do much. He's mollied off in secret, and you know, they sort of go for the lobby push. Had 2 players on A, had Monacy on ramp. And this is where just your players need to step up. Agil did great punishing that lobby push. And Monacy couldn't find anything from ramp, and now Falcons are on an equal.
We've also now seen 3 AWPs from Monacy, yet to get a kill with it. Waiting for that Monacy AWP to get activated.
Just a waste of money, isn't he?
He was great with the rifle on anti-eco.
Well, funnily enough, if he went to rifling, I do know an AWPer they could pick up on Falcon.
MVP level AWPer, actually. Simple, he's coming back. Smokes constrict these pistols. Saw make it into main. And all, despite the pretty dominant first few rounds of the Falcons, Saw have absolutely broken in now. Clean anti-eco. 3 on the T side. Nico, classic position here. But come on. This ain't happening.
Almost.
It's a matter of time. All right, Falcons timeout.
And this little streak will start with that set piece call into the A site, but now they find a collection of rounds on the back of it. You can feel that like restricted playbook you were talking about, the idea that when you're kind of playing from the back, you feel more limited. Well, the plays now have opened up to Saw.
I think this is where the mind games come in a little bit when it comes to the timeouts, right? So Saw now could just do something explosive and fast to change the pace, also because Falcons took a timeout, you know, but someone like Zonic could also call something and say, but first and foremost, you know, let's worry about this A rush or A pop, something that they know that Saw has in their playbook. Now, there were times you have teams with those tendencies and, you know, you would just call a timeout to prompt them to do that, right? And that's all the timeout would do, and it could work out sometimes. So let's see what happens here.
Bomb fast outside. Saw have done a good job of avoiding the timings of these nades on smokes, right? Throwing fast walls, but never crossing with them, unless it's materials alone. Ooh. Nothing worse than tapping with the spam. You feel like it's so much ammo to hit you. m0NESY, first orb kill. Bomb comes back up. Meanwhile, Azubu gets a key entry out ramp. That's a nice shot onto Tesses. Bomb is not ending lower. It's going around the world.
Well, they don't want to see a secret. That's why it makes sense for them to try and wrap and put pressure there, right? They have the AKs, they have the advantage. Looks like they want to split A, but still a little bit disconnected, and Kixan can do some damage from HUD.
Especially as it's Zulu low on health, looking to walk into him first. That kill comes for free. Kixan's MP9 continues that path of aggression and will get stopped. Honestly, they knew he was down in lower, able to get up the vents, but doesn't survive long. Story was waiting all round long for someone else to move in out in the yard, and so finally gets rewarded. Saw starts storming the board here. That's now 4 rounds in a row. Money broken again for Falcons.
Yeah, trying to split the half right now. Dare I say they've got a good chance. Been playing solid. Control outside. If not for Nico, this feels like it would be Saw controlling the game, leading. Nico hasn't had a kill in a couple of rounds now, so we're seeing what Saw are up to. This is not much in this round either. m0NESY saving for orb. Couple of upgrades. And that's an easy ramp entry to send Saw out. Ooh.
A hero M4 on Kixan. But yeah, that last round, I mean, the kill from Azubu on Tesses, that was huge, right? Because it opens up the map a little bit more. Falcons don't have as much control. It's tough for them to react as well, based off of just that one kill. And we didn't see it, but the duel between Seot and Magisk was huge, because that was a 1v1 fight. If Magisk can win that, he can probably hold the site, or at least buy some time. But nice recovery from Saw in this half. They just needed to warm up a little bit, you know?
Full bender.
Had to wait the whole day to play.
Yeah. I mean, Story sitting top of the charts for Saw as well, when you think about the early misses you saw from him. Someone who was an AWPer as well, like when Saw were kind of at their peak, he was looking real good, but then we saw hit like... It was weird, he was always kind of streaky. Saw then had their glow up. He got pretty consistent and then went back to being kind of streaky. When he is switched on, Story can take control over these games. And thus far, he has had more output on the AWP than m0NESY on the other side. Let's see if Saw can shoot for 6 in a row and match what Falcons brought to the table to open up Nuke. Util out in the yard. They're going to try and cross with these smokes. Story boosted up on his AWP. Flame smoke dropped in. This outside take, they have to clear all these angles over at red. You got to worry about players having crossed. Story gets boosted up. Looking for that incision, but nothing is offered.
Super passive outside. G2 gambling on the upper site.
Yeah, Falcons.
G2. I saw m0NESY and I said G2. Oh my god. Well, old habits die hard.
Bound to happen a couple of times.
Story. He's done it again. Squeezed a shot into Nico in main. Saw with this unbreakable smoke. Can cross into that A site. m0NESY's looking for them. Timing into garage. He's aware of it. Has not found Story. This is all over the place. They're going to meet ramp, and fair enough. They've been beating Tesses to the punch, but he's already dropping low, and knowing the time is low, doesn't need to commit to this position. m0NESY takes it up. He's missed the timing, and Azul won't miss that shot. Straight into the B site, straight into Tesses and Kixon.
Yeah, there is still this double setup here to give Falcons something to fight for in this round, but that's an awkward whiff out of Tesses. Now they learn about the double setup. They were hoping that Story could keep the porch light on in this topside play. Doesn't happen. Instead, the AWP knocked out, and now everyone looking on at Azulu in an impossible 1v3. Falcons break that 5-round streak that Saw were on and win out this first half. Falcons are holding a lead right now on Nuke, but Saw have broken through in a big way. It was a 6-0 start for Falcons here to open up on their CT side. Saw then embarked on a 5-round streak of their own, but unable to match up to the Falcons 6. That one extra round going to be enough to tip Falcons over the edge here as now they move into their T half. That just brings the util, everyone else gets the armor. And it's very limited in terms of the utility here, so something a bit more stripped back for the Falcons in this pistol. Tessez, living decoy.
Ooh. Go on, Nasuwu! How's he done that? 3 kills, Agile's there to help out. Smooth dually shooting puts Saw on a pistol.
Yeah, tough luck contacting into double Berettas on ramp. Tessez insta-kill and he's just there to create space with the jumping around. Didn't get the early trade, and that's the pistol for Saw and an eco for Falcons, so probably looking at a 7-7 scoreline.
Considering the initial lead for Falcons, it's a damn good recovery.
They will get to secret undetected. Someone will have to go down from the side of Saw. Either Azul from ramp or one of the A players down vents.
No one's moving.
Which is strange because they did throw the smoke, so you know they're not garage or anything like that. Could either be lobby still or they're down secret. Problem is, like, if you get down too late, they can take a lot of ground. They can come up close ramp, someone will be holding the vents, and then it can get ugly and dangerous, so let's see.
Gonna have to ramp retake here. The more the merrier
Also
in this
no
position.
kit, by the way.
Oh dear.
So like maybe this gets weird. Finding the first kill alleviates a lot of the pressure, and there we go. They're gonna start to collapse down on the lower site. They've got past Kicksan, they've got past everyone. Tessez will get finished off, and so Saw.
I'm surprised they get down vent so free, right? You'd hope someone's either getting the knife kill in there or getting a close pistol headshot.
You know, Falcons are thinking like, damn, wish we forced.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
some extra utility, a couple of extra pistols and armor, and they probably would have won that round. But could hear Magisk still happy with the plant, get that extra economy, and everyone has AKs now. It was important for Nico, who did invest into a Deagle, so now he can get some nades as well on top of that AK and armor.
If I had a fucking Tech 9 there, I would have won us the round.
Oh, there you go. You called it.
Yes, indeed. But you didn't, Magisk. Live with it.
They've set themselves up for their first full buy on this T side. Falcons. No AWP. Smokes do land outside. And no one's in a hurry.
God, Smoke's lobbed on in. Thrown from Nico up close. Just manages to get across in a secret, but Saw, you know, you're aware of this with how the smokes were thrown, with the fact that a lot of resources were put out into the yard. You're expecting someone here. So they've already got a man down in at lower. Mutira's even smoking Nico off just to slow his roll. The rest of the Falcons still waiting back in the yard in the lobby.
Morrissey doing topside util, backside molly, double flash. They're just going to pop up a Nico come back through main.
They want to do an A split. Tessez is also outside with Nico and no more smokes to block doors, so they're just waiting for that last smoke before the execute comes in.
There's the util. That's the sign to go for the Falcons. Quick trade onto CJ. Odyssey and Tessez both find success in that downtime as well. And they knew Mutiris was down at lower, so they're not worried about him in the kill feed. It's a clean round for the Falcons.
Yeah, rough game from Tesses, but that's a huge impact round, his biggest yet. Triple entry on upper. 5v5, they hit that top site. Gets every single one.
Yeah, that one was just a little bit slow, too slow from Saw on the reaction, right? When Mutiris uses his smoke, and it did feel like he maybe used it a little bit prematurely, that's buying you time for some sort of an information play, for some sort of a reaction, because they're really unsure whether Falcons are trying to go down secret, whether, you know, they're maybe trying to work outside to wrap, whether it's just one guy and they want to explode somewhere else. So you need to figure that out while you haven't. All of a sudden you need to worry about secret, you need to worry about someone wrapping, you need to worry about are they trying to split B through ramp and secret. Like, there's too many things. So they ended up not being strong anywhere except, you know, a little bit towards ramp was where they were at, but it was too late and Falcons were already splitting A. Great kills from Tessis and round over.
Now with a golden chance to break the money as well. This could be Falcons, you know, suddenly having that second wind in this T side if they win this one.
Look at Nico.
It is a lot of room for him to have. Just ran with the smoke straight away. Didn't anticipate Saw would bring the fight out in the yard.
They're definitely expecting Falcons now someone to be B because of how much pressure Nico put quickly, but they're going for the lobby crunch.
Magisk waiting for this. He gets out with the first. Tesses holding on a heart, but that leaves a bit of a gap over towards the door, and CJ collects one kill for free. There's the helping hand. Kicksan dropping off a T-roof. That frees up Falcons a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
Nico with all this room out in the yard.
They're walking the ramp smoke.
Yeah, they know where both players are, right? So Agil got a kill on the push and Azu as well. Nico heard them. So ramp was the proper reaction from Falcons in this situation. It feels like now with the bomb planted, the Saw players will just have to save. Important kill from Magisk on the hold. Kickson as well, coming down the ladder to react. Nico going back up secret to help out, understanding that the reaction from Saw was going to be that lobby crunch. Could have gotten a little bit dicey, but they come out on top. And now it does feel that even with these saved guns, has to be a half-buy / eco for the remaining Saw players. And Falcon still only on 9 rounds. You still have rounds to play with.
Well, they want to make a bit of money here as well. Tess is running the MAC-10, maybe something faster with him at the front. I know these guns were saved out of the round, so still some resistance here. And yeah, Magisk beelining for the vent. Tessa's exploding, leading the charge into this ramp room. Story couldn't get far enough away, and with Magisk holding on for these rotates, there's not even a way for Saw to get players lower. Falcons have decided this one for you. You're saving. It's done.
Yeah, nice call for this round as well. Even though there are 2 guns, the way the economy is, for Saw, you know they're not really going to invest. Like, they have to eco on the remaining players. Even the players with guns are not going to invest all that much. So almost no utility in play, and that makes the vent dive a much safer prospect. So very clean round from Falcons. Let's see what the adjustment is from Saw, right? So both gun rounds, really Nico putting fast pressure secret and running immediately. Secret is what was the main trigger for everything else that happened in those rounds. So does Saw try and do something aggressive on yards? Story does have a good spawn. So we'll see what the call is from them. Tess is still on that Mac 10.
Fast and loose. And only two helmets.
Main pick? No, he's crossing red. He ran main at the start. Ollie went in, and so he decided not to even bother. Instead, takes a deep line outside on this AWP. And there is that hunt for Nico. Story even getting out, living to fight another day. That's a big win for Saw. Five v 3. Smoke's going to start to fade as well. So even doing anything with this control out in the yard is tenuous at best for Falcons. It's become a bit strung out here. The AWP slowing them down. Smoke's now having faded, all these angles opening up. This one's going nowhere quickly. The limited util they've got. Kixan tries to put up some sort of buffer, but it won't be enough. Mutir is on the swing, out from Garage, keeps it clean.
Still got it.
Yeah, fix your mic.
2 rounds behind. This is still a very close game. Falcons had a heavy lead early on. They did the same to start this T side. Saw staying in it. Remember, this is still a team that came into Pro League and took a BO3 off of Na'Vi. Saw have a lot to prove this season, but they've shown us a strong start. A win here would be something else.
Falcons now anticipating that Story isn't going to make the same play twice. Working towards yard again in numbers. Mag is Kevin leaving lobby, but they got so much information with that ramp push. You can already see 2 players down vents. Story in windows.
They threw an extra smoke. They did the standard wall, and then they threw like the other Na'Vi smoke, and that allowed Nico to cross into Garage. And Saw, as far as they're concerned, they just threw standard smokes. They didn't realize. So Nico's got right behind enemy lines. Headshot into Story, climbing back up heaven from the outside. What a cool little gimmick for Falcons to get deep control. And sure, maybe you realize you lost Silo, you lost Lobby, but you got heaven, and you're about to win this A site. No one home.
That's the spot. They know that Azuwu is still floating around in the lobby. He's going to knock Tesses out on the cross. How much is that going to entice Saw to go for this? Mutiris adds another. Honestly catches CJ on the pathing up through the vent, but it's still Azuwu in the lobby, causing some issues. He's teeing up his teammates here with util as well, trying to help them out and springboard them into this retake. Nothing happens. Mutiris seen back in the lobby now. They know about him in this 1v2. And no one's keen to go fighting him. Why give him the chance? Why give him the opportunity? Mutiris just looking to hang around and stay alive. Get out with this rifle. Takes more to the grave with him. A punishing round, a costly round short. But a victory for Falcons nonetheless.
Yeah, getting all the kills is actually pretty valuable. Saw know they already had the money, so they're just trying to set Falcons up for failure. Either way, rather, Falcons 2 rounds away from taking their opponent's map pick in this series. And I do love that little trick for Falcons to get Nico into Garage, walking through a smoke.
Him winning the second fight with 30 HP was huge. Really opened up the map for them. And yeah, a lot of it's just been yard, right? In the rounds where Nico was able to get Secret or in this round, Rap, it forced either reactions from Saw or he was just able to find round-winning openings. And in rounds where Saw had information what's going on outside or was able to find entries of their own was where they were able to actually convert. Just the sole gun round for now. And, you know, this is where, again, the mind games come in. Considering that, you'd think, okay, Saw will have to put a little bit more focus on yard, right? Like, that's what's been hurting them. So this is where you maybe see Kixan call a pace changer. Or, on the other hand, you know, Falcons just continue playing default, but strengthen their protocols on yard, right? Expecting some aggression, some sort of a play, and make sure that they can punish anything that comes their way.
Pre-smoke on that molly lets m0NESY fight in front of the door Molotov. Doesn't see anyone in main though. Stories of starting secret. Against NiKo, let's see if he can find just the cleanest headshot here. He's quietened down a little bit. NiKo is still jiggling every conceivable angle, and he's so ready. You could just feel he was going to win that. An utter BS kill for NiKo.
He's feeling very dialed in, isn't he?
Why is he taking the AWP? Is the AK not enough? Gonna go check silo. Oh, fake molly. Azuu hangs around. They think he's run away, but the cover is good. Even on the nade pull, NiKo almost re-peeked that. Low health with the AWP. Might stick on it now. They've made it down the vent. Falcons are all here. Sail, can he stop this? He is the only player in position to do so. And he's so preoccupied with NiKo. Free plant. NiKo just turned into a living decoy and might have bought enough time for Saw to not consider this round. They're going to kill him. But they're too far out.
And Saw is going to go for a save. Just very disappointing, right? Because that was the counter. Story going secret with the AWP was designed exactly to punish this type of a play from NiKo. They get the correct read, but NiKo still just out-duels him, finds the kill. They're able to get the kill on ramp as well, and a pretty straightforward round for Falcons. But at least for the side of Saw, they built up enough economy where they can have a pretty good buy.
He just knew it was an AWP, just the way he's peeking. He's not even like clearing everything. He's jiggling to make the AWP shoot.
I mean, you can imagine if you're NiKo, if you know one thing about this game thus far, it's that you've been very annoying out in the yard. And like Yanko said, it's sort of a nice way to try and cancel him out, right, is to put the AWP there. Great read over the game from NiKo in that previous round. And he'll go back to harassing the yard even more.
I think you can see the reason why they're not really trying to change the pace that much with set calls is they just feel, you know, you're the better team and you can sort of outplay them.
Creeping.
I mean, also, like, these yard smokes have been a big part of the mind game between the squads, right? It's 4 smokes going down in the yard in most of these rounds for Falcons. And so Saw are never really sure what that means. It's a lot of util to commit. Everyone's doing it now. But yeah,
crazy.
You know, you see 4 smokes land in the yard, 2 sets of the wall. A lot of the time you think that's enough to, yeah, let's drop lower. They're going to use that. Falcons did it so much. Saw never know what those smokes mean. They never know the true intention behind it. Might all end, though, not with NiKo offering up heroics out in the yard. Instead, it's this fight for Magiskin at ramp that's opened up the B play. Kit is away from Saw. They didn't pick it up. And so they just don't have the time here. Caught scrambling. Falcons shut them down. NiKo putting on a masterclass in what was meant to be a day for talking about m0NESY in his debut game. The spotlight shines yet again on NiKo and what he's able to do in the Falcons jersey. That's map 1 going their way. Saw now have to try and...
Statistically, they won like 3 out of their last 10. Well, 4, I think, after the G2 game. But also one where it's easier to get m0NESY up to speed, right? Not as complex in terms of the things you will have on your T side. So I think that might have played a part into Falcons picking the map. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, his opping prowess on this map. It's just crazy, his hit percentage on the mid-jump, you know, for the CTs. Feels like he gets a tag every single round.
Mid to B. And 3 here. Sora ready.
This is what they're set up for. But it still gets awkward as the gap closes on the door and window. They get past the first few, but then things go awry. Agile and Materas, quick work made over that B split.
I didn't know where to put myself. Nice read, Manu. Let's go.
And he wasn't sure where to put himself, but I thought he did a great job. 2 kills out of Materas.
I think he put it in a good place. Unfortunately for Falcons, couldn't get the trades on B, really. Actually, on Materas, who was just on default plan spot.
Nice, boys! I didn't know where to put myself.
This was also the map when we saw play it at EPL. There was one game where the 3 Portuguese players got 9 kills and Seot got 37. And they won 13-10.
That was his pop-off game.
I don't know what happened in that game, but I'm going to keep my eyes on him.
If he anything less than that,
yeah, that's the
he
bar.
won't take it.
That's the bar now. The bare minimum. m0NESY somehow still alive. Should probably hand that bomb off before he gets hit by a flashbang.
Oh my god!
Hey, don't lose this. Though. You don't lose this.
My god,
they're both low.
Okay. It's
fine.
It's okay, boys. Nice. Yeah, good job. I want to just play a slow round. Let's do like
I think Falcons should probably play a slow round.
Nice one.
I have to wait a bit for the AWP to make its appearance, with Falcons going for the 3rd round bite. But guessing that they want to play a slower round anyway, they're fine with that. Double long take for Saw. Oh, and they didn't do like the long door smoke that you lob over. They didn't flash, didn't throw 2 mollies, so you know, usually you can pick up a lot just from the sound cues of the util over at long as to what the early setup looks like. Magisk wasn't gifted that because of how they took it.
No, they know one guy is long, they know one guy is stairs on catwalk. That's a meaty nade. They're piecing the round together. Falcons getting cat control, Nico taking some extra damage. Still one smoke on Materas, one smoke on Agile on the B bomb site. It's looking like a A split. Coming in a little bit delayed from Falcons.
Zulu goes uncleared, still fires off early. m0NESY, good for that trade, and that's an important trade kill to have picked up. It keeps the bomb out on this long side, ready to split into A once these short players can get involved. But the window on this is closing. Saw scramble bodies over. And through the smokes, they find success. It's only Nico left. First kill goes his way, but a lot further still to go, and no time to get it done, and he's got 10 seconds left. Nico can't win this. And so there's no choice but to just back off and let Saw continue racking up rounds.
Counter-terrorists win.
Nice boy. Nice boy.
And here I think just a little bit of a lack of patience from the Falcons side, right? The long players really need to wait before they peek, I feel like, towards the bomb site until that smoke clears on catwalk, right? Because Story doesn't have to worry about short. here they're just double peeking towards long. Nico and Kixan couldn't really play because they were smoked off, so that impatience cost them the round. They don't get the bomb down. Nico has the saved AK, but that's all they have. And a couple of pistols. And that's really key in these A splits where you have 3 players coming from long.
Ooh. Bet on Nico in that fight. The AK is lost. They're trying to grab it through the smoke. Did it get moved? Maybe naded out? Someone's lost it. That is rather annoying for the Falcons. Magic's found it.
Short util, but they're looking like they want to get out in towards mid. They also still have this smoke on Magis. That's going to go down in CT. Give them the smoke screen to get across. Agil out the window.
Wow.
Lays it all to rest right there. With that 3K. You'd like to think this is safe for Saw. I'll silence Tesses to seal the deal on that round. That is very well handled from Agil. Here's the guy feeling all the pressure. That mid-to-B's taking shape. The rest of Saw had fallen for it. And if anything short of that 3K, and the round was still fair game for Falcons.
Some things never change. I mean, that did feel like his fight. Falcons going to up the pace. Quick long. Zulu here, he's been very sharp today. Hit some bangers back on Nuke. Oh, smoke shot. I don't know why CJ went back in. Felt like they were bailing, but gives him an entry.
Yeah, 2 of them were not going to be able to effectively fight for long, so sort of throwing his life away. Nico finds Agil as well. He's definitely going to push this now to see if there's anyone else in the bomb site. Get some information. The rest of the SAW players are on A, so this is most likely going to be just a save.
Well, the exits will go a long way.
I think they, at this point, Falcons shouldn't try to search for SAW players anymore. I think I always prefer it when you bulk up your economy before you try to pressure your opponents. If Falcons lose the next round and don't plant the bomb, they still might have to just go for a half buy. If they had 5 players alive, I don't think that would have been the case.
Especially
and this sort of a round, it looks like super boring and everything, but SAW actually was kind of 4A, but they're trying to simulate that they're going for long control. Why they actually have players cat as well, because the reaction from the T's might be, all right, we're going to try to take, let's say, catwalk or short control without that much utility because they're not supposed to be there. They're fighting for long, right? But in trying to do that, a player dies. Nico was fast low. Agil wasn't aware of that at all. Finds that kill. He was the sole B player and the round is over. And so won't mind that, but let's see in this round what the approach is. Same corner smoke comes in from Falcons. They're just repeating the call.
Fast down Nico. Honestly, dropping decoys in middle to try and get his cross shot, but it's SAW who use HEs to make it across safely. They know what they're up against. With this long control, Falcons very committed. Nowhere else on the map. At least they had mid-control last time. This is going to force them to commit, and SAW are realizing that at this point. They have lower control. They've reblocked long.
And Saw have been very smart in this as well, right? They kind of grouped and cleared mid just moments ago. CJ's now roamed down into lower tunnels as well, so they know that Falcons don't have control anywhere else. I know this has to be all in over at long. Flash to try and bring in one of these AWPs. They did displace m0NESY for a second, but the shot just sailed on past him.
Oof.
Still though, this is far from comfortable. Smoke's down. Azuwu tries to play around it. Finds that opening and now disappears into this smoke. All of Saw up close in the sight, but they will get overran. It's only Story left. Jump shot. Won't attempt it. Instead goes fishing for m0NESY. And lives to regret it.
Who was planting there? Someone just went for it when there's still a player in the site. That was...
Kixan, I think.
Yeah, chaotic. Comes out with 3 kills, though. I like that as well. m0NESY was posted on plat, and they actually broke the smoke so he could pick the site play. Couldn't quite find it. Azuwu got his one.
Nice.
A very frustrating round from Saw. I don't know if CJ maybe played a little bit too soon. Felt like he could have had a round from that flank. But he made noise. m0NESY wasn't aware of and didn't expect him there. He only turned because of the sound cue, and he gets that kill. He can do a lot more damage. So felt like Saw had everything they needed to win that round, but couldn't really piece it together. And Falcons managed to break their economy finally. Nice little B execute. Bomb's gonna go down. And they managed to stabilize in this half, Falcons.
Classic anti-eco, just walk in B.
And Story still has enough money to buy an AWP next round. Even has Kevlar in this round, so just needs the gun. So we'll see now what the approach is from Saw, right? This is where, when you go up against a team like Falcons, you need to maybe be a little bit cheeky too, right? Like, do you just beef up your long take or long defense rather and make sure that you fight them now and don't give them long? Or do you enter the mind games and say, okay, they're not going to do the same thing again. They're going to try to do something else, expecting us to go long, and then you play for, maybe short or mid control or something along those lines. I feel like that's what the timeout is for exactly, to discuss.
I also think like the long stack is a hard one to play without like telegraphing it too much as a CT, right? And you have a good understanding of kind of the protocols. Like if you're hearing bunch of flashes at long, maybe that smoke or the molly combo, like the double molly combo and the doors go off. That gives you a very good picture of, well, if they're strong here, they're going to be weak elsewhere, right? And then that's where you see some of these extremities players, maybe like a Nico on his lower tunnels lurks, look to come through and take space elsewhere very quickly in response to that. I think Falcons are actually in a pretty powerful position in this game now as a result.
And also they were fine in the previous round, right? Where they gave long. They just messed up a little bit in the final moments of the round. There he is.
My God. You talked about it at the start of this. A terrifying consistency to hit those crossing players.
And Story's like, Agil, just cross and tell me which side is he on. Is he left or... Oh, okay. I'm dead.
Smoke dome, in effect.
Bro, you can't smoke this dome. Like, m0NESY will hit you through it.
Did they go B? 4 tunnel right now.
Certainly looks like it. They don't have to because of the time remaining. They have a lot of utility, but this is something that maybe comes from the preparation, the anti-strat, knowing that in these situations, Saw doesn't really stack the B-bomb side. And, this is where it sucks for Saw yet again, but save is the correct option, right? Like, you just have to look at the big picture. The score is going to be 4-4. And also, more importantly, at this point, they lost 4 consecutive rounds, right? So their loss bonus goes up. So even if, let's say, you lose the following round and everyone dies, you will be able to buy. If you win the next round but then get reset, you will be able to buy. Like, that's the important thing here for SAW. The economy for Falcons is set. You're not going to be resetting them probably until the end of the game. So you're just focusing on, you know, trying to win a couple of more rounds. So it's only going to be guns versus guns, or you'll be the one with inferior weaponry.
They went to retake mid, yeah.
Nice goal!
And it's a frustrating half to play for SAW, because some of the rounds revolved around long, and they played the one round correctly when they didn't have control, but in the end failed to hold the bomb site, and then a bit too quick on the flank. And here, a guy dies trying to jump mid. You sort of make the wrong read in the 4v5, and you just have to save again.
Ah, sorry, man, I'm low. I've got to keep the orb, man. I've been tagged. You know the rules.
I can see your HP, Nico. Give it back. All right, all right. Relax. You just got here.
I own this team.
Who even are you, kid?
Didn't do much in the final last weekend.
Ooh. That actually would be a fire line.
Sick bird, yeah. Got him.
Just argue mid-game.
Yeah, please come back. I don't mean it.
Okay, all right. I'll just go mid, I guess. So now, you know, SAW is a little bit more timid, being like, guys, let's just try not to give an opening kill in the first 10 seconds and have long control. Now you have that. Let's see what the call is from Falcons. Only one incendiary on Mutiris. He's going to be using that once he sees some utility for Falcons come over. It might delay them just enough. Let's see.
Nico's played through the molly, getting ahead of it, but blinded on the cross. Out in the open, Story gets one for free. It's this late backstab of Magis, double lined up over at long. Story and Azuu's shot in the back. Jump making his play, but can't find his footing. Monosi's going to get rid of him, and Agil just left looking on at a round that disappeared in seconds for SAW. That backstab devastating this CT side. Even in rounds where long isn't the object of the desire for Falcons, it's still a problem for SAW. That was the one-man late take lurk from Magisk to stop that from spiraling out of control.
Yeah, I felt like maybe the focus dropped just a little bit. Magisk finds good timing, wins the duel against Azul, and then Story was low HP, just the spray transfer takes care of him.
And while very temporary, it was a 3v5.
Nice, Emil! Good shit, Fizzle.
Thank you, bro.
All the more important is that double kill out long. Falcons take the lead back. Want to see looking for his mid pick once more. Oh, they're going to try it again, even with the break, or with the nade rather on the mid door cross. The orb takes a peek. Did he see him? Yeah, Monacy ain't falling for that. Patience pays off. Nico picked it up a B. He shot through the smoke.
Probably feels like just the frustration pent up for Story, you know, couldn't really activate himself in this half with the AWP so much, so he's really looking for that fight too much, so.
Worth noting that Nico had an AWP again in the upper B, peeking the B side. There are two AWPs going. It's like Monacy shoots his mid, then Nico, or vice versa. Oh, nice shot from Monacy. Roll in middle. Whoa, kicks it. How'd he get that?
Let's go!
That third kill.
Tsunami, boys, stop doing tsunami for fuck's sake.
Stop doing tsunami.
Is that?
I guess that's what they have a call for it, you know. Probably to
just flooding
in a 4v5, just re-aggress mid. I think that's it. Like trying to re-aggress mid the CT, and they punished him. They were expecting it. I think maybe, you know, if Nico fired off a shot, maybe that's why m0NESY is just holding all the time, right? Because you hear an op on B. If you're Story, you're gonna try to find a kill on mid, right? m0NESY is on B, but actually it's the real opper the whole time that's on B.
Show me these.
Kixon just got like 2 triple kills in this half, right? Yeah. Like in 2 gun rounds. I like Kixon is, if you're watching... Yeah, stop doing Tsunami.
Yeah.
Hugo.
More people running at you, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's like waves coming in waves.
Waves, yeah.
But I think Kixon is one of those IGLs that doesn't play like an IGL. He plays like he's a good player.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see him throw his life away for information really that much. And he's had some pop-off games, man, in this Bucharest run that they've had. Nico punishes the information play. See another 4v5, what the call is now from Saw. Story still has an op. He's over towards long. Heard Mutiris come back to A.
Oh, I missed him. This is a nightmare for Story. He can't even put his mouse in the right place.
Seemingly didn't know either that Magisk was that deep. Story kind of missing them on the cross. Mutira is desperate to hold on. But even in amongst this, Nico's making a move through the B site. m0NESY holding down short. No route back into this for Saw. The only path forward for CJ is just battling through the catwalk. And even then, he's been smoked off as he rotates back. Nico lies in wait.
This was a 4-0 lead for Saw. They have just been knocked out.
I love that Nico, because I think it was him saying, like, I should have supported you guys there.
It's m0NESY.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, bro, I don't know. I like how he played this. Kind of got that kill over towards long. He knows that they've been seeing him constantly in and around the tunnels. He instantly shifted back through T-spawn. Hey, there you go.
Finally.
It wasn't the Story AWP, it was the Mutiris scout that we should have been worried about.
Clearing lower, but these are force-bought guns. We've got Famises, we've got MP9s. Nico should have this fight. He's seen him. Clinical. 2 more on Cat, though. This could get weird. The Tsunami's back for more. Got waves up on short. They're flooding mid. Tesses taps him. Nico, well, not needed. Tesses with 2. And Bomb can join out long. Knife out. Kixon, bit scary, but it's only a scout. And Team Falcons, 8 rounds in a row we're looking at.
Oh, and they're swinging this final kill. They want to fight him. They want to end this. Agile at range on the MP9.
Hey.
Will get dealt with. Nico's backstab puts a stop to it. That 4-0 start for Saw is a short-lived victory as the next 8 rounds come through for the Falcons consecutively. They're holding one hell of a lead, looking for that 2-0.
another smoke here. Nice, boys!
Guys, good job.
Well, that's Falcons up in the lead, 8-4, looking for a swift 2-0 in this series. They've taken the last 8 rounds straight. Can they get a 9th? That would be the pistol picked up, and that would be like Dust 2 feeling as good as done.
In that first half, Falcons only got 1 more kill in the whole half over Saw. Saw also got, what was it, 9-3 in opening duels. As far as things go, numbers are pretty good for Saw, except the one at the top of your screen. 8-4, Falcons positionally better. In fairness, it went to B on a lot of anti-ecos. Just walked right in.
They'll be ready for this long hit as well.
Clean tap for Tesses to open, but his time is short-lived. Falcons have everyone here ready to retake, ready to go. Match has been spotted on that jump up.
They're so trapped. They have to fight from the site. Just falling in. Needed that second, and Nico helps him out for it. Just Story from afar. 1v3, and not really the gun for this either. Are they going to give him one? Does look like it. They're on the bomb. Cover needs to be good. Story's found a dink. One more shot. He can't connect. That's as close as it can get. Nico gets a stick. Falcons 9-round win streak.
I don't even know if that was necessarily a reaction from Falcons or just their pistol to sort of clear mid if they smoke it. Got the early info. Were in position to defend against that long push. And even though Tessus just finds one, Saw isn't able to gain any more ground to push up. Weren't able to find any more entries. And Falcons take care of it. Saw uses their final timeout on this round. For me, usually not a good sign because you should already know what you want to do if you force, right? So unless the plan was maybe... I was going to say not to force, but why wouldn't you if you planted the bomb, right? So maybe they want to change what they talked about in the halftime or before the game. I'm not so sure, but you know, you would have really liked to have that one in your pocket for later on in the game and for this to be just something that was predetermined. Let's see how this long take goes.
CJ first man in, flashes full.
Wow.
And wreck him on that long push. Rest of the gang was slowed down by the util. And so those attempted trades don't come till it's far too late in the round. That's really awkward. They get shut down hard on the long side. Burnt a pause to come up with this as well.
I love that they bail from long as well. They immediately take short control, re-clear middle as a pack. They just want to play it safe. They want to keep as many alive. Beck and Sword across in. And that's perfect. Getting info from the smoke break. Monacy off the ace right now. He's going for it. Get it. Not today. Oh, talk of an ace! Oh! Talk of an ace! One more bullet in that gun, and we be talking to stories. Blimey.
Could have gotten dicey.
Yeah, that's twice. Yeah, that's twice now. Story pistol round. One more bullet would have killed Monacy. Right there. One more bullet would have killed Nico. And he'd be in 1v1s.
With how exciting they've made some of these rounds, Falcons really are becoming more like G2. This is exciting. From their 2 HP defuse in the pistol.
Yeah, like, guys, don't throw me this. I just killed 4. Honestly, he's fine. He's having fun. He's farming. Just don't give him the B plant, and we're good. Talking to you, Kixon.
Nice, we get money there with him tonight. Just focus. Keep it up.
Is it going to be 13 rounds in a row?
The technical 13-0.
The delayed gratification 13-0.
Astorius is up in mid. m0NESY was taking the routing to try and peek from short fast on that AWP, and he's been blocked by the util. So for now, the AWPers won't clash. But someone's got to pay the price to figure out where the m0NESY AWP lies. He falls on back and actually concedes his control, so short, or at least a bit of control over towards short, could get taken by Saw. He's not completely down and off the angle yet. It looks like actually Nico moves up to join him. He was waiting for that fight for a long time, and Mutir is apparently his kryptonite. They muscle their way in past Nico as well. That double stack on short unraveled. Now the bomb planted. Spot on Tesses. On the long side, that nade just falling shy of finding CJ.
Wait.
Line up for Kixan, maybe, might have to be. They're caught in this crossfire. It's only Agil left standing. Saw thought they had this round in the bag. A lot of time ticked off this bomb though. Kids coming in a little late from the catwalk, and Magisk has been found. There just isn't time for Tesses here. They needed that kit. They needed Magisk to win. A swing and a miss means there simply isn't time for Tesses to win this. And so Saw at least dodged that technical 13-0. But it's a drop in the bucket right now for Saw. One round. They need a bunch of them. That's going to be the start of a streak here for this Saw squad.
Yeah, m0NESY won't be happy about that one. He's peeking on timing, expecting a flash to come in, not really thinking someone's going to dry peek that angle, but Mutir, in a way, pre-fires it and finds the entry kill on m0NESY. Still gets dicey towards the end. Magisk just half a second too late on that flank. And Saw gets one on the board in the second half. You see there is enough money for Falcons to buy. That AWP gets dropped over to m0NESY, obviously. And there isn't one on the side of Saw. I mean, their buy is really poor. I think almost if I'm, if I were the Falcons, I wouldn't take a timeout here because Saw is out of theirs. And this is a hard round for them to sort of figure out. But, just Zonic knows if they win this round, they probably won the game. And you want to get all your ducks in a row.
Don't slow the roll.
Fake. Story bullied by the util, but he gets his revenge. Line up in the smoke. Story's double opener has started this one strong for Saw. m0NESY now takes a long sight line on this AWP. As the round slows down. m0NESY has 3 of them in a line. Closing this distance. They're already up the ramp. He doesn't know. m0NESY might just get shot in the back here. No, Kixan spies it from far away. And now m0NESY has this smoke to play around. This AWP is still a real threat. CJ could alleviate all this pressure right now, but nothing found with that smoke still down. They learn about him now. Spam misses its mark. m0NESY given a bit more room. Finally shut down. And it falls to Magisk in this clutch. Great movement to get up short here from Magisk. Years of experience shining through. But can he read as well as he can move? Magisk out wide, deleted on the first turn. No clutch today. And the gap continues to close.
They didn't get the AWP at the end. They tried to grab it. It's going to be just about enough money to get everything right. A lot of casualties in these rounds for Saw.
Yeah, Saw didn't want to overcomplicate there, just went for the long finish. A little bit of a lazy call in that situation with the AWP in play, right? And them not having one to be able to punish any sort of aggressive peek from Onacy, but he misses a couple of shots and they're able to get into the site, get the trade, secure the round. We'll see now, you know, Onacy, unless he finds a kill, he won't have enough money for an AWP in the next round. They've stacked the right bomb side, though.
Oh yeah, I think you're starting to get real suspicious. And that bomb is going to the other side of the map. They're going to group and try and chase down Mutiris. They've got this one kill out on an island in mid. Ding straight away. Zuu provides a much needed bit of levity there, catching them as they try to cross to grab the rifle. Magisk will get cleaned up, which is good. I don't need to see him do the short jump again. So he's done well to do a bit of damage there on the USPs. Still, Saw collect the round. Slowly but surely getting cleaner and cleaner as they go.
This is a little bit of a complicated round for Saw. No AWP on Onacy, right? So Saw has that advantage. I think they should just play probably default in this round. The pressure is on Falcons to do something because of the AWP disadvantage. So want to figure that out if you're Saw before you make any moves. So Story had the B spawn, so he went for the early pick, gets smoked off. Doesn't do anything. It's going to stick around in B tunnels though and search after the smoke clears. They also have cat control already with 1 minute 30, so this is where it gets tricky for Falcons. They baited out the smoke from Nico on mid, from Onacy on slope. You can see Tessus kind of has to take this risk. Great push from him. They're going to block B. This is a good block as well to buy time for him on the flank. This duel is going to be really important.
And there it is, the classic. You knew it was going to happen. He holds it literally all round. And the second he looks away, that's when Tessus moves in. Still finding kills as Saw, and they've at least got Mutiris across here on a far-flung corner. Out towards short. Story adds another to the tally. Agile's up on the board now as well. Tessus can't catch his bearings. And this one gets pulled out from under the feet of Falcons. It felt like they'd done enough. But their feathers are getting ruffled here. This scoreline continues to close up. Saw are on one hell of a back foot here, right? It was 11 rounds straight for the Falcons. Now Saw have gotten 4 in a row. That was exactly how they started this second map.
Yeah, patience from Story pays off in this round. Mag is quick on the rotate. Story was holding mid the entire time with the AWP. Finds him. Then doesn't go cat, jumps down mid. Catches Nico as well. Some good shooting from Mutiris and Agil. From elbow as well. Find the kills on Onacy and Tessus, who are the A defenders, and even though they were in a 5v3, it was a little bit of a tricky round for Falcons. And it's one of those games where it looked like, you know, okay, we've won. You know, it's just a matter of time, and all of a sudden it might be 11-9 soon enough. See if Onacy can do something with that scout.
There's Kixon sending it top middle. I didn't clear the left properly. If he did, might have been a 5-on-4 instead. And M4 lost up top mid. Scout will finish the job. But Falcons winning this is unrealistic.
It feels like he just magged up the guy and he didn't die. Catching CJ through the lip of the wall on short.
And this half is interesting from a macro aspect, right? I feel like if I'm Saw, I'm just going to continue to play default. Sure, if Story has a good spawn, he can peek long, he can peek B, something along those lines, but Magisk almost wins that fight. But because if you look at it, they didn't really put a lot of pressure towards B or do any B splits, Saw, right? So that's something that Falcons might think the switch up is going to come, right? If we end up in a 5v5 scenario. So even though they're behind in terms of the scoreline, Saw are ahead in this half, and the playbook is still wide open for them. You can see m0NESY opens up towards that B bomb site, so that's the change up from the Falcon side.
He was just shy of spotting Agil creeping in to the far right-hand side of the tunnels. The rest of Saw have taken mid-control as well. And because of the kind of long focus start from the Falcons, and m0NESY playing in that B site and not middle, they don't have the info as to how deep Saw have got here on short. They have to be considering it.
Nico's in trouble. He's trying to set up nades, but they're already up and past this. Kicks and bails him out. m0NESY's held down the B bomb site. That leaves lots of players on A for Falcons, and Kixon has somehow stayed alive in that Molotov. Will go back in for the swing. Tess is by his side. And somehow, someway, Falcons may have been caught off guard, but they have absolutely recovered. 3-on-1. Story, he's had a lot of close clutches. He's going to need to complete one this time. Fate comes out, and no one's biting.
He had Tess jumping up, but that spam comes through from Tess. Great awareness there.
And it feels like Agil had the drop on m0NESY, because m0NESY is left on 10 HP, but just couldn't connect on the kill. That's actually the first kill in the round. And Saw finding space, but then fumbling a little bit on the speed up and get punished by Nico and Kixan.
First actual long take of this T side, and it's gone pretty poorly. Actually, no, sorry, same as last time. m0NESY hits his flashes. The pop Saw very late. Gonna walk out through the mid to B smoke. Magisk is still looking aware this could happen, but it's only one man, and he's good for the job. CJ's selling this fake. They go climbing up catwalk. Look at everyone biting down. Everyone is falling for this. CJ putting on more pressure. They cross through the smoke. They're pulling nades. Is that how it ends? Is that really how it ends? Maybe not. Agile 1v2.
It's a wild sequence to open up in this 1v4 clutch attempt from Agil. Kit and full nades on m0NESY as they creep up together through this spawn side. It's this duo of Nico and m0NESY reunited in Falcons jerseys that have to close this out and stop the Agil clutch in its tracks. They manage it. Nico and m0NESY reunited, and they find success straight away, striking while the iron's hot here in Melbourne for a 2-0 to open up their tournament run. And it is that duo, Nico and m0NESY, finishing up top of the board alongside Kixon.